Fate Grand Order is not a game that should be played. However, my asinine decision-making skills have condemned me to a life of poverty knee-deep in debt, incurred from 2D pixels arranged in the facsimile of a female. And if I have to suffer this, then I'm taking all you bastards down with me. You play as our hero, Ritsuka Fujimaru, also known as Gudao, also known as Gudako, also known as The Hent. Your dumb pale muggle ass has been selected to join the illustrious Chaldea organization, a place filled to the brim with magi. That's the special magic using people for the uneducated. But don't call it magic because technically they don't do magic. But they're still magic, but only 5. Confused? Fuck you, get used to it. If you can actually understand Fate lore, you're doing it wrong. Knock knock. Who's there? Terrorism. Wait, what? Every other auditionee for the non-magic SWAT team is now fucking comatose, so Mary Sujimaru becomes the chosen one. Joining you is your partner. She is dying right now. But don't worry, it gets fixed because she is actually a boy on the inside. And together you shall time travel to the past in the name of peacekeeping by filling in the Geneva checklist. If that hasn't convinced you, then I am not surprised. This British simping simulator is merely a ploy by the Japanese government to spy on and catalog your fetishes. So don't play it. Fate Grand Order is a trap, a hack, and not in any method or fashion appealing to the average gamer.
Looting for speed! Go!
So the way the gameplay works is that you have these servants under your command as a master, and to ensure control over them you have these 3 command seals that in lore allow you to bend them to your will. These servants are actually Pokemon because they suffer from the mental illness known as turn-based gameplay. They each belong to a class, and most of the time they are self-explanatory. The sabers have swords, the lancers will lance, and the archers summon a pot of dolphins to massacre their enemies. In battle, you get to field 6 servants, 3 frontliners and 3 backups. Each servant has a deck of 5 cards separated into 3 different types. Whip is where you hit the enemy like a piñata until they choke out yellow candy for you, which then allows you the chance to hit them even harder the next turn, because gacha is not a choice, but a lifestyle. Arts is where you build your own super meter called the NP gauge, and when it's maxed out you can do all kinds of wacky shit, like summon a stand, launch lasers from the tip of your sword, or even ride a motorcycle across the surface of the ocean while shooting a magic bullet from a sniper rifle. By the way, this is actually King Arthur as a maid. Finally, we have Buster. It does not raise your NP gauge and barely gives any critical stars. As such, it is the objectively best option, because intelligence may be safe, but violence is more base. Assisting them are 3 sets of skills acquired over a long career. They act as anabolic steroids intravenously ejaculated to make them go Super Saiyan. Chen Gong, for example, can declare his ally an enemy of the state, making Xi Jinping one angry boy. MASH, by contrast, weaponizes the player's virginity into a shield that not even the strongest of attacks can penetrate. In order to obtain these servants, one must first acquire souvenirs from a pride parade. Do you feel lucky, punk? Because the rate of a 5-star is 1%. But don't worry, banners like these have things called rate-ups, or as I like to call them, lies. And that's assuming you actually roll a servant to begin with. Because surprise, you can also get craft essences.
Are you serious?
These cards grant additional effects in battle primarily, and make you scream in rage secondarily as you roll a 5-star CE instead of King Arthur in a bunny suit. You can also get special Valentine's cards during a special event, where your waifu behind the screen gives you virtual chocolates. I have lost 78 quadrillion seconds of sleep because I was so busy getting these CEs, and my regret has now taken a physical form and is trying to kill me. But joke's on you, cockmunch, I'm too horny to die. Take a tour across the various hallmarks of human history, such as France in the time of the 100-Year War, where Saint Joan of Arc's evil twin sister and her father, Kermit the Frog, try to get along with the people like a house on fire. Or maybe visit the Roman Empire, led by the sussy baka Nero Claudius, renowned throughout history for her ass window, as well as the murder of hundreds upon hundreds of Christians. Fancy a swim? Okeanos is a beautiful place to go to. It takes place in the age of pirates, complete with the famous man Francis Drake, and my favorite One Piece character, the Fat Captain. Perhaps the misty streets of London might charm you. But beware, for the mad serial killer Jack the Ripper stalks the night, a servant so evil, so vile that they saw fit to portray him as... hold on. The collective consciousness of those who were never given the chance to be born. Huh. Well, this game is weird as shit. Like America, then in this singularity is under the iron fist of Thomas Edison, who has subsumed the US President Franklin D. Snuts to become invincible. Apparently he's now furry, okay. There's singularity number 6, the completely non-fictional land of Camelot. It is also home to the Egyptian pharaoh Ozymandias, who is canonically friends with K-pop BTS member Moses. They are joined by the beloved monk Shenzong from Journey to the West. I can see why demons wanted to eat her. The ancient state of Babylonia bids you welcome. Under the control of the wise king, the city of you rock and roll must defend themselves from the assault of goddesses. This works out perfectly for me, because whatever the hell these girls are, I am into that shit. Or I would be if I could actually summon them. But fate is a cruel mistress, and my bank account is suspiciously empty. Finally, we come to the last singularity, Hentai Haven, which is the throne of the big bad, Solo King Man. But he is skinny and not white, so... Also, I lied. In fact, you've only completed part 1 of the entire story. But explaining the specifics of these events would be akin to bashing my head against the wall repeatedly, and despite what you may think, I am only 3/4 a masochist. That's probably why I'm still doing it then, son of a... Epic of Remnant is the intermission point of the series, and as its name suggests, we'll take all your remaining sanity and fuck them harder than what Rooster Teeth did to Ruby. There is now a dimension-hopping super samurai wielding 4 swords that also owns a jet ski. Her identity is Miyamoto Musashi. There is also this innocent, sweet girl, who is a Lovecraftian vessel that can break you in half. These chapters are actually optional though, and while you may be tempted to skip them, don't. Get to know a wonderful ensemble of forgettable characters, like the sleep-deprived college student, Megumi Konosuba, a widow still in mourning, James Charles, the child of Dumbledore and Grindelwald, Markiplier, and Tony Hawk. They are known as the Santa Claus Squad, and have come to turn the Earth into Christmas forever. To aid in this, they have each set up their own little Santa workshops to bring joy to everyone. Ritsuka Yu-Gi-Oh's mission has changed. Your new goal? Destroy Christmas. Travel across the Winter Wonderland in order to commit wholesale slaughtery against the elves before they can rally and create a union. But standing in your way are the ghosts of Christmas past, who have been kicked out of the afterlife and now work 9 to 5 as peaceful gardeners. It's so sad that Solomon died of ligma. Who the hell is Solomon? Lick my fucking balls! Now, the official story hasn't actually been fully released yet. It only goes up to Lostbelt 5, unless you're a time-traveling magician known as the Japanese. In that case, you get to watch Ye Olde Britain under the control of the Feminist Justice League, starring heroes like Galaxy Eye's full armor photon dragon that is an actual card, death by consensual suffocation, the reason I fear women, and my beautiful loving wife who currently owns custody of our kids and refuses to come to my Caldea. To pass the time before the colonizers come, there will be special events, complete with prizes, and limited time servant banners. What this means is that you'll be spending half the time grinding for materials and the other half crying because this German dude won't leave you alone. In an ideal world, you would clear the story on your own. However, the support servants supplied by the game pendulum between being voracious demigods and having as much strength as a Zimbabwean dollar. This support system also lets you put up your favorite trophy wives on display, which will typically be filled with 8 concubines and 1 slave. And yes, the old man grows up to become a shota because fuck you. However, if you are like me and run a violently misandrous workspace, then you can instead choose to borrow a servant from other users. Keep in mind, their NPs will be blocked out, and the only way to rectify this is a process too arduous for the average Go player: making friends. So there you have it. This role-playing tap and fap visual novel will no doubt improve your life with its vast array of Chinese cuisine, cute characters, and PTSD when hearing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So welcome to Fate. All torture.